What's up, Duderinos, and welcome back to another episode of the Game Addicts Podcast, episode 143. And it's the first episode of 2020. Welcome, everybody. I am this podcast player, Brando, and we are launching right into 2020 with some changes. This is the first podcast of the new year, and there's going to be some changes. I hinted at some changes towards the end of the last year. Of course, we had last week we had some great guests on. A big shout out to Tyler McLaughlin and to Blaine Tyner. Thank you guys so much for coming on and talking about the last decade in gaming. It's a great episode, a long one, but a great one nonetheless. And I had a lot of fun with you guys, but there are some changes going on with the future of the show and going forward. There will be an episode every week if I can help it, unless life happens, right? But I'm going to be changing up kind of how I do things. I've been hinting at it. If you've been listening along, there's going to be more deep dives. I did a deep dive at the end of last year. It will end up for me because I took a break because I had a kid. But I did a deep dive on a game called Final Fantasy VIII. Especially since the remaster had come out, I dive deep into the lore, to the characters, the story. I had a lot of fun with it, and I want to do more of those. So I'm gonna try and rotate those maybe every other week with some of my other favorite games and dive into those, and then maybe share the new stuff for every other week. I'm not married to the idea of every other week doing it, just when I can, but I'm gonna try. Especially if there's a big news thing that happens I really want to talk about, I might go ahead and just do a news episode and then save it for the next one. So there's that. The other big thing is that someone's missing. I mentioned it towards the end of towards where we took a break, that Mike was going to be taking a break. Well, he's officially stepped away from the show. He is no longer going to be on. It's not that he won't ever be on again, but he's not going to be a constant co-host of the show. I thank him so much for we just episode 143. I mean, he did so many of these shows with me, and we sat here and talked our favorite games. We sat here with our first episode right in this room and talked and really didn't know where the show was going, didn't know what we were going to do with it. We just wanted to sit down and talk about some games. That's what we do anyway. I still see him every day. I mean, we still talk every day. I want everybody to know that there's nothing, him stepping away from the show isn't anything between me and him. It's just something with him, with him and his life and where it's going. He decided that, he's going to, if life's getting very busy, he's going to step back. And then he was like, you know what, just kind of carry on. And if I can be on, if you want me on, we'll see if it can happen. Maybe it will. I want to get him on for the FF7 remake stuff, which I got some stuff to talk about with that later on. So I want to get him on to talk about that, but it's also not necessarily he's going to go do his own thing, and that's cool, man. And I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much once again for hanging out with me, for as long as you did. And, I am currently having what seems to be battery issues on my laptop. What is going on here? Why is this happening? Uh-oh. We cannot... This cannot be. I'm doing a podcast. Did I turn off the power? Oh, no, I didn't turn off the power. Because everything went dark. What in the world is going on here? Because I have 11 minutes remaining, and this is going to be a much longer podcast than that. Did something get unplugged? Here live on the show, I'm having problems. Go figure, right? Go figure. Oh, wait. Okay, so it says I have more time now. We'll figure this out. I don't know, man. This is crazy. I've been sitting here getting ready to do the show, and everything has been fine. Everything's been, running just fine back here. I'll be darned. Live on the show. Having power issues. Anyway, I'm just going to keep monitoring that. Okay, so it went down. It definitely went down. I got to make sure this is right. Well, I think that be my problem. Starting the year off right. You know why? Sucker wasn't even plugged in. We are back on here, the show. Thank you guys so much for that temporary malfunction. I didn't even plug the damn thing. Can you believe that? I set everything up back here. Came back here, worked on some stuff. Man, I think I even did I did a whole like Mass Effect live stream back here, and the thing wasn't even plugged in. It could have died on me. Can you believe that crap? Died. Anyway, carrying on. Going into the new year, there's going to be some changes. It's just me as a host for right now, until somebody comes along and says, hey, I want to host a show with you, or, Tyler could be on, or somebody else could be on, some of my friends could be on. So stay tuned for that, and then, of course, the deep dives and everything like that. So what's going on today? Well, this is the first episode of the new year, and here lately, I have been playing a good old game called Red Dead Redemption 2. Why am I playing that? Well, I got some stuff over the new year. I did get Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, beat it, loved it. We talked about that a little bit on the last episode, or maybe we talked about it before. We had a Star Wars conversation before the show even started last week, so I'm trying to remember exactly when that kind of happened. But Fallen Order was fantastic. Maybe that could have been a little longer as far as story content. Maybe there'll be some DLC. But as far as the actual main story part of it, it was great. I thought it was fantastic. Fighting the beasts. Fighting the stupid random beasts. That was my least favorite part of the game. Fighting other troopers. Shock troopers or the scout troopers. Or even getting the fights with the couple of lightsaber people you fight against. That's awesome. That's like the best part of the game. And the whole traversal was not quite there. I had just gone from playing Uncharted, because I went back and I replayed Uncharted 4, and then I played through Lost Legacy. And playing through on that, and then traversing and how smooth that is, going into Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, was a bit jarring to me. It was literally, it wasn't, eventually it was okay, but it never really felt that tight. But then again, that's what Uncharted kind of does. It gets that traversal tight. So I beat Jedi Fallen Order. It was fantastic. I did get another game, which I haven't dived into too much. I started it. It is the Collection of Mana for the Nintendo Switch. Now, what is that? I don't know if you guys have been following anything. It is a 3-in-1 physical copy, because you can buy it on digital. It is, you get Final Fantasy Adventure, you get Secret of Mana, and Trials of Mana. So this is a trilogy. It's a three games, and we got Final Fantasy Adventure. It's on the Game Boy. Secret of Mana was on the Super Nintendo. Trials of Mana was on the Super Nintendo, but we never got that game over here. It was only released in Japan, and it's never been officially translated and brought over. There's been some fan translations and then some homebrews from Trials of Mana, but we never got that. And they are, since they remade Secret of Mana and put that out a while back, they're doing a remake of Trials, I guess. And they put this out as like these are the original games. Go have fun and enjoy them. And it was on sale for like $20 for all three. And I'm like, you know what? I am a collector. I have passed on buying Secret of Mana on Super Nintendo for a long time, simply because it was like $50. And it's one of those games where it's like, every time I see it, I don't have the money. Every time I have the money, I don't see it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm buying this. I'm getting this for the Switch. And I started the very first, Final Fantasy Adventure. It's on the Game Boy. You can actually switch between black and white and like the green scale, if you want to call it that, like the different green and gray or whatever. It's not gray, green and dark green. I don't know. But you can switch between that. You could switch aspect ratio to be more smaller, or like fill the screen out a little bit more. But I didn't get too far because I got sidetracked right at the end of the holiday. I bought an Xbox One X. Now, why? Why, Brando? Pray tell. Why did you buy an Xbox One X? Well, there was a sale going on at Best Buy and through Microsoft where it was $150 off. Normally $500. They were $350. My mom gave me $100 cash, right? And I'm like, that's $250 out of my pocket. That's not bad. I still have my Call of Duty original model. I don't even have an S, right? I'm lacking when it comes to Xbox. I'm like down here on the Xbox scale, and I never upgraded and never did anything like that. I got a new 4K TV for it was kind of Black Friday. It wasn't a Black Friday doorbuster. It was a sale that Samsung was having for Black Friday. So I saw that Xbox One. I talked myself out of it, talked myself into it, talked myself out of it. I'm like, I don't need it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm getting a PS5 next year. Blah, blah, blah. I still am. I'm getting a PS5. And then I'm like, okay, let's be real here. I'm not buying the Xbox X series. That's going to be difficult to remember to say that. The new Xbox that's coming out this year. I won't be getting that for a while, right? And I'm sort of behind in terms of on my Xbox front. I have the PS4 Pro and I've had it for a little while, almost a year and a half at this point. But for the X, I never bothered with it. I never bothered with getting the S. I'm fine. All I had was 1080p. Then I got the 4K TV, and that kind of changed my perspective. I don't have a 4K Blu-ray player. I can do 4K streaming through Vudu and things like that on the TV itself because the PS4 Pro is very picky about what apps do 4K. And PS4 Pro lacks a 4K Blu-ray player, which boggles my mind. Like the Xbox One S, the cheaper version comes with a 4K Blu-ray player. You're absolutely ridiculous for not putting that in there, Sony. So just putting it out there. So I talked myself into it. I'm thinking, if I get this Xbox One X, they said, apparently, this is subject to change, that any game that is released for the new Xbox that's coming out will be playable on the older generation of Xboxes on the Xbox One. Okay, I can definitely see that with the X. It's the most powerful at this point. The new one, I guess there's going to be two models of the new Xbox. There's going to be the X series, which they've announced, and then a slightly less powerful one, maybe around the same tier as the X, or Xbox One X. It's just so confusing. I swear, next holiday season is going to be absolutely crazy and ridiculous for anyone that is going to, for anybody who wants to ask their parents to buy an Xbox, because you better know which one you want, take a picture of it, write it down, tell them what's what, because if you go into Best Buy, as a parent, I'm talking to the parents out there now, because unfortunately I know what I'm talking about, but there's going to be a lot of people who don't. They're like, yeah, I want one of those Xbox X's, the Xbox X series. Yeah, that one. So the X, yeah, the X one, the One X, yeah, that one. There's going to be a lot of that, especially if they call the under or the lesser of the, like, of course they have the X series. If they call it the S series, I want to slap Phil, because Phil Spencer has been doing so great at rebuilding and rebranding the Xbox brand and making it a great place to play games. But that is a marketing just snafu. I mean, this is like, I don't know if it's quite Wii U level where people don't know what the Wii U is and think it's just an add-on for the Wii, but there's going to be market confusion. In fact, I talked myself into getting an Xbox One X because I figure the new games, the new Halo and shit like that's going to come out for the Xbox One X as well as the X series. Maybe it won't be booming 4K 60 frames. Maybe it'll be 4K 30. Who knows? It's going to be good enough, right, for now, until the next 3 or 4 years down the line when I probably will purchase a top-of-the-line Xbox X series, whatever, to get up to snuff on that. At least now, it's like a boom, half step up here for now, and then I can get the PS5 and focus on that since I'm a Sony pony. Then I can get the Xbox later. I don't hate now. I'm just a Sony pony. What can I say? So I got an Xbox One X. Now here's the story about how I got that. Going into Best Buy, because of course I spent a whole night talking myself into it, talking myself out of it, talking myself into it, talking myself out of it. So it got to a point where I finally, I was even talking about it with my wife. I'm like, well, we got this. We're going to save money for the PS5 here, blah, 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 blah. And then and she's like, yeah, we can get it. Go get it. It's only $250 out of our pocket. I'm like, cool. I'll go pick it up tomorrow, because it was like 7 p.m. It was the day before New Year's Eve. So December 30th. I'll go pick it up at the store tomorrow. So I wait. It comes to the next day, and I'm being lazy. It's like 10 o'clock, and I still haven't left. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of meandering about. She's like, are you going to go? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go. Geez, leave me alone. It's my vacation. Gosh darn it. If I want to kick my feet up for a while, I will. I'll go. I'll go. You leave me alone, right? That kind of stuff. That little harmless bickering that me and her do. So I pulled it up on my phone just to have it, hey, I want this, Best Buy. They're $500. The sale is over at Best Buy. So I go to Amazon. Hey, Amazon, they're $350. Okay, $350. Okay. So then I look on Microsoft.com. It's still $350. Okay. So I go in anyway. And Best Buy's deal is that they'll match any retailer. Well, they were not going to allow the match because Microsoft, it's on sale on Microsoft, and the Amazon sale was through the Microsoft storefront on Amazon. And the only bundle that they had in store, because they had two bundles. They had the Jedi Fallen Order bundle, which is what I got, right? And then they had the NBA 2K20 bundle. But they didn't have that in store. They only had the Star Wars one. So the NBA one on Amazon sold through Amazon was on sale. The Jedi Fallen Order one was on Amazon through the Microsoft storefront on sale. The Microsoft store had it on sale, and they didn't want to match the Microsoft store because technically Microsoft is a vendor. It's like if Apple has a phone sale, they can match Target sale on it, but they can't match the Apple price on it. It's all weird. It's all weird vendor talk and all this stuff. Anyway, I kind of mentioned and bluffed. Someone texted me when I'm doing a podcast. What are you doing? What's going on here? I am busy trying to do a podcast. Man, all right. Everybody's talking and retweeting at me. Anyways, guys. So I kind of bluffed and said, I'd just go buy it online. And the dude's like, no, screw it. If you'd have came in last night like you were going to, because I kind of told him I was decided to wait until the next day. He goes, if you'd have been here last night, you would have got the deal. So here you go. And he signed off on it. We override it. I gave him the 100 cash and paid the 200 out of my pocket, 250 out of my pocket. I go home with an Xbox One X. And why have I been playing Red Dead is because I installed all my stuff into the new console, and I wanted to see. I remember when Red Dead 2 came out, me and Mike here on the show were talking about the graphic fidelity of that game on the Xbox One X. And of course now it's on PC and stuff, but on console, that's the best place with the best graphics. And I just wanted to see it. So I loaded it up just to see it. And now I'm sucked right back in and I'm playing it. I'm doing a replay. This is my second actual playthrough of the game and I'm having fun because I'm not in a hurry to get through the story because I love the story and I know what happens though. So now it's like the little stuff. I'm just enjoying the little things in that game and playing through it slowly. When I get done with the podcast, I'm going to go and play it for an hour, just to chill out. And, I'm going to be playing through some other stuff as well. I got back into the streaming. I streamed another Mass Effect 2 thing. I want to get the Mass Effect trilogy done and put that all up on our YouTube channel for you guys to watch. And of course, when I play games, I don't just sit there and play games. I talk about them. So like if I got lore, story, character, stuff that I really want to talk about and things that interest me during the game, that's what I do. I don't do too many premiere runs, but I'm going to start. This year, of course, I remember in the past I did my first gut reaction of Red Dead 2, my first gut reaction of Spider-Man. I'm going to stream my entire playthrough because I'm going to be on vacation. I'll be able to do it. I'm going to stream the entire playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Remake. That is on the docket. The day that I get it, it's going to get installed. We're going to sit back here in the game room, chill, and I'm going to be playing that game until I'm done with it. And I'm going to share that experience with you guys. You guys are going to get to see me react, see me talk about it, my thoughts about it as I'm going through it. And I want to do that because Final Fantasy VII, if you guys have been listening to the show, if this is your first time, welcome. But if you guys have listened to the show for any amount of time, that is the first game that me and Mike connected on. That's like our favorite game of all time. not the best game of all time, but our favorite, because it was one of those first games that we played that was story driven, that really hooked us like that. Like there's other great games, like Metal Gear Solid for me, that was like right after that I played, that was like hooked me, as far as like getting me in. And then of course after is FF8, FF9, 10, other Metal Gears for me, Mass Effect, KOTORs. Those games really sink their teeth into me for story, and that's just the beginning of that. And FF7 was the beginning of that. And I want to give a bunch of love to that game this year. And buddy, we got some news about that, because FF7 Remake apparently has a demo that could be coming out. Apparently, from what I understand, it's on developer demos that got unlocked, and some people downloaded it and played it, and people have kind of like data mined it for some, and there's some spoilers in there. I'm not going to talk about spoilers. I mean, granted, it's a remake of a game I've beaten a million times. So there's not really too many spoilers you can give me. Like, oh my gosh, this happens. Oh, no, really. But there's going to be new stuff that's going to be different, and I don't want that to be spoiled. But apparently it's going to, I mean, we all knew it's coming to PC, but it's going to be exclusive to the PS4 for a year, and then it's going to go to other stuff, probably Xbox, probably PC, and apparently, the people found out, there's like, hey, this could be coming to PC, because they found out that there are they've data mined it, and then there's discovered PC code as well as resolution options that are greater than the PS4's capability. It's like, well, duh. I mean, come on now. But I am so freaking excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake. There's so many things that got announced too that is just off the chain. That's all going to come out around then, but that FF7's first. FF7 is March 3rd. It's going to be it's going to be something else. From what I understand, there's also within those data mines and those leaks, there's a possibility that they're doing a slight tweak to the story, and I fully expect that. I expect there to be tweaks to the story. I expect there to be tweaks to the characters. The one thing that I did hear, I'm not so sure that I like it as much. It's not that I hate it, but I don't know if I like it. And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to say it. I know I'm dangling that carrot like, oh, man, just tell me what it is. It's something minor. And it has to do with the opening mission, but there's this slight change that again, we don't know, and we'll see, but I don't know. I'm excited for the game. It's pre-ordered. It'll be here the day it comes out. It better be. It better be. I'll be hunting down that UPS guy or FedEx or wherever it's coming. I ordered it from Amazon. I'll be hunting that dude down throughout town. I remember back in the old band days, Jim, our drummer, Nate's dad, he would order a new guitar, and he would, he'd be working during the day, and then he would come home, and if it wasn't there yet, he knew the dude was in town. He would spend his lunch break driving around town looking for the dude, say, hey, I'm Jim, give me that guitar. That's what I'm going to do to this dude if he doesn't show up with my FF7 on time. Because I'm going to be on vacation that entire week. That entire week that the game comes out, I'll be on vacation. And a few days after that, into the next week. And I'm going to play that game and stream it until I beat the damn thing. I might do a couple of late nights too. It's one of those rare games that me and the wife have an understanding. She's done this with some books. I remember the last Harry Potter book, she did it. I remember I did it with MGS4. I pretty much kind of said, hey, leave me alone. Let me enjoy this. Let me soak it up. And I remember going to her mom's birthday party, and I really didn't want to go. It was going to be hanging around with a bunch of people I don't know, with them all drinking, and then me not, because my wife was enjoying some, and I'm like the designated driver. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to play Metal Gear. And when you're ready to leave, call me. I'll come and get you. I literally wasted the gas to come all the way back and then go get her and come all the way back. I did that because I got right to, where did I get, man? Crap. I can't remember if I got to Shadow Moses and MGS4, if it was right after. I think it might have been right after. I got right past Shadow Moses, and we were like, I gotta wait to play this. Anyway, I'm gonna do that with FF7. I'm gonna be back here. If something happens with the kids, and of course I'm not a deadbeat dad. So if like, hey, you need my help, let me know. I'm gonna go help. I'll tell you guys, hey, let me go help my family real quick. I'll be right back. That's definitely gonna be a thing. But also, like, I'm also just gonna be like, hey, if it's not important, this is my vacation, man. This is why it is all roads lead to Rome. All roads lead to Midgar in this regard. So super excited for FF7. But there's a game that got announced that comes out right after that. Literally 1 month later. Yes, I'm so excited for this too. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis Remake, or just Resident Evil 3 Remake, whatever they want to call it. We begged for it. We were hoping they would do it, and it turns out it was kind of in the plan the whole time. They were going to do both, and then they got really behind in development, from what I understand, from what I researched and read. And they were going to, because they had said they were going to do RE2 Remake, and they decided to do 3 along with it. And then development got slowed down, and they decided to shelve the 3 part and just focus on 2. And they built 2. I played 2 this year a lot, and it's my game of the year. It's crazy that a remake got game of the year, but it was that good. It brought back all those feels from the original, plus it was new. It was completely modernized for what a Resident Evil game probably should be. And now we are going to get that with RE3. The thing is that I'm going to have so much to play in such a little time, because I got FF7. Because after I beat FF7 on stream, I'm probably going to go right back through it and play it again. You know, I'm going to try and just then, sit back and really like enjoy it and take it in. Sit out there in the living room and let her see it. Let the kids see it. Because the kid likes to watch me play some games. I try not to play the like true hardcore games. Like, I really don't play Red Dead until he goes to bed, right? Or Last of Us. I'm not playing that in front of him. But same with Resident Evil. I'm not going to play that back there. But FF7, I think it'll be fine. RE3, man. So RE3, I got some news about that other than what I've already said. Man, I got a lot of stuff here. Oh, there was a news article that came out literally just today saying that Remake reveals a big change from the original game, and that it's not going to have multiple endings. Of course, the first game had 2 endings. One of them, good old Barry Burton, shows up in his helicopter, and he's like, I'm here to, I couldn't let you die. And, well, I guess this game's going to be more driven into one actual ending. I do assume they're going to make some story changes, because literally the story for RE3 is not the strongest. Whereas the story from 2 is the best. Fight me. It is the best. It is very easy, very simple. It's a whodunit. It's kind of a mystery as you're going along. And it's done so well. And then 3 is more of the action, run away, let's fight Nemesis, take him down, run away. I got to escape. And there's not really a whole lot of intricate story. And I expect them to expand on the story and make it deeper. For the city, for Jill, for Carlos, I fully expect them to make some changes to Carlos's character. And that is very well welcomed, because as much as I really like Nemesis, and the story is just maybe down here a little bit. So definitely do that. I'm all for that. I'm all for the cool thing about like the multiple endings is to, replayability. But one thing about, RE2 has has the scenarios. You had, Leon A, Claire A, and then you have the B scenarios for both, where you get like a slightly extended portion of that end, but also everything kind of like, just like I said earlier, all roads lead to. It was all towards that same kind of ending. And if for RE3, since you're just Jill, you might play a little bit as Carlos. There's going to be that one ending, and I'm fine with that. So, what else is on the horizon? Talked a little bit about the Xbox. Of course, they released a new Xbox X Series. It's basically a PC tower looking thing. They're boasting, 12 teraflops. I don't know. What is a teraflop really anyway? To me, that's a buzzword. But they announced or AMD showed something, but it wasn't legit at CES, I guess, where it was gonna CES, I guess. Go. There's a rhyme for you, but it was supposed to have like the ports on the back, but it's not legit. Yeah, I'm excited to see how well it does. Of course, I am a console guy, not a PC guy. PC's cool and all. I even fired up, some Xbox games on my PC here. I played Forza Horizon 4 a little bit on it, but this is where I would have to game, right here. And I only like doing this if I'm going to be streaming and talking to you guys. So like I want to be more relaxed. I've got my TV over here with my game share here. Back in the living room, I've got my big 4K TV. I like to chill out, man, kick my feet up. And that's not really fun to watch on stream. I kind of thought it'd be funny if I actually did a chill stream like that, where I just have my feet kicked up in my recliner or something and just like have the camera on me. And it was like, the thing is though, I look so goofy when I'm streaming, like, and then it's usually like I zone out, mouth open, looking like an idiot, and then I die, and then I like yell some sort of, curse word or choice words or something like that. PS5. Let's talk about PS5. I got some stuff on the PS5. So apparently the PS5 is going to be backwards compatible. We already know it's going to be backwards compatible with the PS4, but also all the PS4 controllers will work for it. Which that tells me that the PS5 controllers are probably not going to be that dissimilar. They're probably going to be pretty along the lines. They're probably going to have the touchpad, because you're going to be able to you are going to be able to have to play the PS4 games on a PS5 with the PS5 controller. Like that is going to be a thing. So I really do think, like, because there's those images of the dev kit and the controller, like none of that's final. We know that, even if it's real, we don't know if it's real. We don't know if it's final. But I do feel like the PS5 controller is not going to be that far off from where we already are, and I'm okay with that, because they got it right for comfort, for everything. The PS4 controller is great. I love it. It won our controller bracket a while back when we did our greatest controller of all time. I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure the 360 controller was going to take it, but it didn't. And props to the Xbox One controller too. I've got that sitting right there. I like it more now than I've ever liked it. The more that I play it, the more that I do enjoy it. PS5 controller doesn't need to change, man. It's not broke, don't fix it. In fact, the new controller that comes with the X series is going to be this controller with a few changes. It's going to have like a different D-pad, which I like this D-pad. Why are you changing stuff? What, like Xbox? But it's going to have 2 extra buttons for a share and assistant button. Yeah, it's kind of like the Google or that Stadia controller, where they had the like the stream button and then the assistant button, something like that. But also, the rumor is for the PS5 that they're working on something called the remaster engine that's going to play games from PS1 to PS4. I assume it's primarily for the PS1 to 3, because it's going to upgrade the resolutions, and it's going to probably smooth out some textures, and then it's also going to include trophy support. That also tells me that maybe perhaps the physical copies of games that I have up here on the shelf, all those PS1 games, probably not going to be playable. It's probably going to be more so stuff you have to get onto the store. Which I'm torn with that, because even though I would love to be able to play all of these, I would at least settle for something like the Xbox does with theirs, where you have the backwards compatibility. If the game is on the store, gosh darn it, if I have Twisted Metal 2, one of my favorite games on the PS1, if I have the disc for that game and that console can recognize that that is Twisted Metal 2, it should download off the store, and I should be able to just use that disc as a CD key and play the download off my system, just like I do on my Xbox One. That is one thing that they have got. There's like 500 something titles, and it's probably more, a large portion of the games that I own are probably backwards compatible. I could put them all on there and play. And I mean, and it is emulation, but we were going to get emulation anyway. There's no freaking way that Sony can put a dedicated hardware to play PS1, 2, and 3 on the PS5, because they would all have to be licensed as licensed like hardware to play these licensed games. It's all that crap. So it's gonna be emulation. I'm hopeful for at least an Xbox One style solution. Give me that, Sony, and I'm here for you. You give me where I have to buy GTA Vice City again on the PS4 for a game I have. It's over there. It's right there. It's on the shelf. And I should, if I have it on my shelf, I shouldn't have to fork over money for you again. I did it on the PS3 back when you guys were releasing the PS1 classics. And I didn't need to because I owned them. I could put the disc in, but there was something about preserving the discs, right? And granted, I also got some of those on sale too. So, but this is different because if I just put Grand Theft Auto Vice City into it's not going to spin it and read it constantly and wear that out with the laser. It's not going to do that. It's going to be like, oh, Vice City, boot up Vice City. And then guess what? It's done. It's on the hard drive. It's just like all the games now. It's like you put in Halo 5 in the Xbox One. You install it, and then after that, it's like, no, it's Halo 5. That's the way it should be. What else with the PS5? Oh, there was something else that got released just recently. That said, PlayStation Boss says PS5's big and unique features haven't even been announced yet. Hopefully, crossing fingers, exactly what I was talking about. And who is this? This is Jim Ryan. That they have plenty. He has revealed that they have plenty left to reveal. And the tantalizing tease came during a recent interview with Business Insider Japan, where the head of PlayStation talked about a variety of things, including the PS5 and what has been said about the console and what they still have left to say. And he says, quote, each time a new console is released, the processor and graphics improve. Duh. Those are enticing, of course, but we need to have special appeals as well. And we already have confirmed the use of a solid-state drive, yeah. Having load times that are next to nothing is a major change. 3D audio and haptic feedback or support of the controller are also things that, when you try them, you'll be surprised at how big of a change they are. And that's even just playing the racing game Gran Turismo Sport with the PS5 controller. It's a completely different experience. While it runs well with the previous controller, there's no going back after you experience the detailed road surface via the haptic control and play using the adaptive triggers. But, there's still a lot more unique elements for the PlayStation 5 that separate it from its previous consoles. The bigger differences have yet to be announced. So, Holiday 2020, that's coming out. We will see. I really think we are going to be seeing a reveal for that pretty, sooner than later. To be honest with you, I think the PS4 reveal was in February. Yeah, February 14. 14? 13. February 13. Wow. Man, it's been a while ago. PS4 stuff, though. At CES, we got the PS5 logo. Shocker. It's not changed. Yeah, there were people dogging on it, and I'm just like, when's the last time the Xbox logo really changed? When's the last time that the Nintendo logo... Now, granted, we have the Switch logo, but when's the last time the Nintendo logo changed? It's PS5. I mean, granted, it's kind of weird that they were like, here's the logo, and it's the same one. So it is kind of weird that they bothered to do that, but they could have just had something about it and not really mentioned that this is the new logo, and they just had it up there. But CES 2020, they had some numbers about the PS4 that were really actually pretty cool, and I'll run through those really quick if you guys haven't heard them. I mean, I'm going to talk about them anyway. The PS4 overall sales for units moved is 106 million worldwide. That is awesome numbers. I believe that puts it at the number 2 spot for best-selling consoles of all time, with 2 being number 1. So number 1, PS2. Number 2, PS4. Number 3, Nintendo Wii, I want to say. Number 4, PS1. Number 5, PS3. It's kind of crazy that the top 5 selling consoles, you take one away, and it's all 4 PlayStations. Interesting. Very, 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 very good. Now, the Xbox 360 is a very close number 6. For a long time, I thought the 360 had sold more than the PS3, but according to new numbers, it's like, the PS3 edged it out. And that's, like, pretty cool. You know, the 360's in the conversation, but it's also kind of like tongue-in-cheek is like the best-selling Xbox console is just barely sold as much as the worst-selling PlayStation console. Yeah, I mean, I definitely kid about that. I love the Xboxes, but it just, wow, that's such an achievement from Sony, and they have to be hanging their hat on that for sure. What other stuff did they numbers? They had sold the number of games, software sold from retailers and the PlayStation Store hit 1.15 billion. That's B with a B. That's billion. At the end of 2019, and also PSVR has sold 5 million units. That's not too bad for a peripheral. That's more expensive than like when they did like the Kinect and how popular that was and crazy it was, and now you can't get rid of yours. Like you can't give it to people. It was hot for a second, right? VR is doing pretty decent for itself, it seems. And there's also a bunch of info. The fact that the PlayStation Network has hit 103 million monthly active users. So out of the 106 million consoles that are out, 103 million actively log into the network at some point in the month. And that's crazy. That is an awesome amount of attachment. And then for PS Plus subscribers hit 38.8 million. That is actually kind of surprising that less than half people actually have PS Plus. Now, I dropped out of Plus because I don't play online. And maybe a lot of other people don't either. Maybe they just want to play their Call of Duty a little bit with their campaign. Maybe they just want to play Madden and NBA and Grand Theft Auto Story Mode and go blow stuff up. That's probably a lot of the standard gaming that people do. And then, of course, I'm very much into just the single player stuff. So, I mean, hats off to Sony, but Nintendo has had a pretty good year as well, which I believe this article came out yesterday, and it was according to data from Famitsu, translated by DualShockers, Nintendo Switch accounted for a staggering 76% of the console market in Japan for the year. Wow. Killing it over there, and it's killing it over here too, by the way, because they are still hard to find in some spots. I've actually seen them sold out in some stores. 2019 was Nintendo's best year ever for the console in the region, with an increase of 29%, and that is in Japan. That's awesome. Yeah, and I would love to know the overall number of sales sold. Of course, we can only assume at this point, because we don't have any raw numbers for the Xbox One for years at this point. But from data that we had heard before, it seems like Switch has officially outsold the Xbox One, which is crazy because Xbox One has been out since 2013, and like the Switch came out in 2017. Yeah, so like Xbox One had like three years on the market, and now like in just now 3 years they've just just swept past that. I'm so excited for this. I love my Switch. I go through cycles. Having as many consoles, retro, modern, having all of them, I go through cycles where I play. I play a lot of stuff on PlayStation, play a lot of stuff on the Xbox. I play a lot of Switch, and it cycles for sure. But I'm really looking forward to more stuff coming out for the Nintendo Switch. Of course, Metroid Prime 4. And then I heard a rumor about them doing a full 2D remake of Super Metroid like they did with Samus Returns. That was on the 3DS, so that would be really cool. Also, the Breath of the Wild sequel that potentially rumored maybe released late this year. I doubt it. I heavily doubt it. But that would be a great way to combat, to try and keep, relevance with the new consoles coming out, to try and convince people to go, hey, you guys are going to buy those consoles, but before you do, hey, in a month you're going to buy those, but before you do, pick up Breath of the Wild. I think it'd be a great idea. And then of course I'm hearing that there's a couple more Wii U titles that are still that they're looking to port over, like Pikmin and Super Mario 3D Land, Super Mario 3D World. It's one of those ones. It's not the new Super Mario Brothers. It's that one where it was like more of a 3D realm and you ran around as a cat. I don't know if you guys remember that one. I didn't play too much of that one. That was like on the 3DS and the Wii U, and I never got it for the Wii U. The other part with Nintendo is that there are rumors, and I mean these rumors have persisted pretty much ever since we started talking about the Switch, about them releasing a Switch Pro, and that has not come to fruition. But there were also rumors about them doing a strictly handheld Switch, and that did come true, and that was released last year, and it's really kind of neat. It has a full D-pad. It doesn't have Switch Joy-Cons that kind of come off and do their thing. It's all just one unit. And so there's an analyst, I'm trying to figure out what Angela Sirkin Toto, CEO of Tokyo-based game industry consultancy Catan Games. That's a mouthful. Sirkin Toto. He says there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Nintendo will launch a Switch Pro in 2020. We'll see. Of course, Nintendo keeps their stuff tight, close to the chest. My guess is $400. More specifically, I predict 4K support. We'll see. Probably docked. I don't see 4K support being in handheld mode at all. That'd be ridiculous. That is unnecessary. At most, you would push 1080p in that. If you're going to do it. But, I mean, even 720p on that size of a screen would look fine. So 4K support, bigger cartridge sizes, that is coming. The 64 gigabyte cartridges are coming. So that, and then, and of course, beefed up components. Switch Pro this year, possible, but with all the focus going on these new PlayStation and Xbox, I can see why if I was Nintendo, I would just rely on my software and take a step back and let them go in there and have them have their big holiday thing. And then next year, now once everybody has bought their PlayStation and Xbox, whichever one they're going to get, 2021, Switch Pro. So then you have more room in the market to sell your stuff. And then have it reverse compatible with all of your previous Switch stuff. And then also there would be titles that would be exclusive to the Switch Pro, and I would utilize that for third-party developers to try and like, hey, if you want to bring your game over to Switch Pro, you can, because it's not really capable to run on the original Switch. I hope so, but again, I don't see it for this year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong, but I am excited for the rest of the year for sure. But before I get out of here, I want to give a quick thought on the Witcher series on Netflix. Now, the Witcher series is not an adaptation of the game. The game is an adaptation or a continuation of the books. And the series is an adaptation of the books. But man, was that show good. Man, it was so good. And the thing is that what I feel like they were able to do, they did their own thing, but there's so much in there that kind of reminded me of the games that kind of came before, the first 3 Witcher games. And then, of course, Henry Cavill's performance as Geralt brought back flashbacks of Geralt from the games. And of course, he's a gamer, so he knows, and he tried to do a little bit of that while also putting his own spin, and I think it's fantastic. I know I named the episode Ode Valley of Plenty, but to be honest with you, I really don't have that much more to say about it other than it is awesome. I can't wait for season 2. I thought everybody in it was great. The overall story, despite, I think it took me 3 episodes. By the 3rd episode, I kind of realized not the whole story is being told in conjunction. It's kind of like hopping around timeline-wise between the 3 main characters. Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer. So, all their stories have different start points, and then by the end of the series, they all kind of converge and meet up. Even though because you'll see Ciri's story, which is more in the present, if you will, but Yennefer's story is like way down here. Geralt's is a little bit over here, and then you'll see Ciri's story going on and hear stuff, and then Geralt will be like here, and then you'll get to see that stuff you heard about over here. But then it's like it all comes together. And I don't know if that was pretty bad podcasting, but I pretty much just did like graphs with my hands timeline. No, the show was awesome. It was really fun, and the thing is that it was fun. It was so fun to watch. It was humorous. It was, it didn't always take itself too seriously, and that's just something that I think that we're missing with all the hyper fandom of like Game of Thrones and Star Wars, where there's such a toxic fandom with some of that. Just let's have fun with stuff. Let's have fun with the games that are coming out this year, guys. FF7, RE3 remake, Cyberpunk. I haven't even talked about. I'm pretty psyched for Cyberpunk. Last of Us Part 2, and that's just in the first few months. So, guys, I'm gonna wrap this episode up, and I'm gonna be coming at you next week. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get to working on my notes, and I'm gonna do a deep dive. And I've said I'm gonna do my next one. I've already said Last of Us, so that's the one that I'm doing next week here on the show. My deep dive for The Last of Us. I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna be talking about the story, the characters, the games. If you never played it, please go do it. It's pretty cheap on the PlayStation Store. It's pretty cheap to go get at GameStop used. It was on sale for Black Friday for like $10 or something like that. It was for free in October on PS Plus. So you've had opportunities to get it. You're definitely going to want to play it. If you have interest in playing the second part, you're going to want to play part 1. And I'm going to break it down and talk and just gush about the game. That's another thing I want to say before I get out of here. If I'm going to do a deep dive or a review or a walk or like an in-depth conversation about a game like I did with FF8, like I'm going to do with The Last of Us, it's not going to be a game that I dislike. So, like, if you guys are going to be like, man, I wonder what he's got to say about this, it's probably going to be pretty positive. I can't sit here and talk at length about a game I don't like, unless I just absolutely hate it with every fabric of my being, which I have not really found hardly any games that I hate that much. But if I don't have anything to say about it, then why sit here and then talk for just 10 minutes? I want a game that's going to entice my thoughts and break it down in a way that I'm going to be able to sit down for at least a half hour to an hour and a half to talk to you guys about it. And I just wanted to get that out of the way, so that way people weren't listening to if I do multiple deep dives like, wow, you like all these games. Well, yeah, that's kind of the point, man. Until then, thank you guys so much for joining me here on the episode this week, and feel free to check us out on all podcasting platforms. I forgot to mention, we're having issues with iTunes, with Apple Podcasts. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, or if you had thought about it, we have been removed due to an issue that I'm not sure exactly what's going on. It's with our host. I'm trying to get it figured out. When I get it figured out, I'll definitely send out a tweet. That's why it's very important to go follow us on Twitter or on our social medias at Game Addicts Play on Twitter. I try and share some stuff there if I can, and if there's any updates, things that are pressing that to let you guys know. We are available on Podbean, on that app. We're available on Spotify, which is our biggest one. Go check out Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, and all that stuff. Also YouTube, check out the YouTube channel, which is a one-stop shop. You get the podcast, you get gameplay stuff. It's all there. So we're also live on Twitch at twitch.tv/GameAddictsPlay, where we do the live show. And I record live. You can come in and chat along with me while I'm talking or while I'm gaming, and just enjoy the show. Until next time, guys, I've been Brando. From the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next week. Game on.